Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Sorry about my background. I'm getting some new posters for you guys, so it's a little bare, but we're going to get through. And also, sorry that mailbags have not been coming out more frequently. Well, I'm here to fix that. So let's get started with today's mailbag show. Please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so check all that stuff out. And if you like this video, please share, subscribe, do it all. So let's get into the first question that comes from Greg. And Greg asked, why do the Ravens have a hard time finding franchise running backs? Thank you so much for your question, Greg. And first thing I want to say is that it's not just the Ravens that have this hard time. Every team has a hard time because of what has happened to the running back position. So most teams, right, you need a great quarterback to win. Great quarterbacks cost money. So if you look at teams like the Patriots, the Packers, right, they don't have great running backs because they have to make sure their quarterback is being able to perform at the best level he can, which means you got to pay offensive linemen, got to pay the quarterback, got to get him at least one receiver that you hope he can make a play, different things like that. So that's one reason you just have less money for running backs, because the way the game is going. Also, the game has made the running back position so fragmented, right? And you can see that even with the Baltimore Ravens. We got Danny Woodhead, who's a receiving back, right? Because we need a running back to catch the ball in passing situations, because passing situations are so important in the league now. There's no down more important than 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Then you have a running back who can score in the red zone, because being able to score when you have the ball in the red zone is a big deal. So you have all these things, and then if you want a running back that can block, and it's so many different things. Running backs have to be so good at many different things that it's hard to get one. And to get one, to get a Le'Veon Bell who's good at blocking, running, receiving, to get one of those is almost impossible. So I don't think it's a Ravens problem. I think it's a I think it's a league problem. And running backs can trick you. Justin Forsett was a good running back for that year in that scheme. But next year, when you switch to man blocking, he can't make people miss enough, right? In zone blocking, he can find the zone and get you 4 yards. But in man blocking, he can't do that. So if a team stops zone running, what do you do for Justin Forsett, right? I mean, that's a good question. You saw last week when the Browns, who are a very physical defense, when they stack the line, it doesn't matter what Alex Collins can do, he can't be as beneficial because he's just not as talented as in different facets of the game. So I think that it's a league problem, not a Ravens problem. And the answer is it's just hard. It's hard now. In today's league, it's one of the hardest positions to get someone good and consistent at, especially since they take so many hits. So their shelf life is a little shorter. Now we're going to go to the next question. And this question comes from Thomas. And Thomas asked, were you surprised by the absence of offensive Pro Bowlers? I'm pretty sure you're talking about the Ravens, of course. And no, I wasn't surprised. The only player I thought that really had a chance to make the team on offense for the Ravens was Ryan Jensen. I know some people are mad because I didn't say Alex Collins. Again, I've said it before, he's not a top 3 running back in the AFC. Again, off the top of my head, just 3: Le'Veon Bell, LaShawn McCoy, Kareem Hunt. Okay, well, sorry, Alex, you're not. We all can say you're not better than those 3. You have to, you don't get. Hopefully, not hopefully the Ravens are in the Super Bowl. But if they're not, if one of those 3 teams are, you fill in for them, and then you get your Pro Bowl bid, right? But he's not there just yet. But like I said, Ryan Jensen is the only one I thought that really had a chance. And the reason I thought he had a chance is because halfway through the season, he was a top 3 center per Pro Football Focus. People started recognizing him as a mauler, as a person that fights. But in the end, when you're talking about offensive linemen, when it comes to the Pro Bowl, only two things really matter. Is your team popular or are you popular? Now, you can get popular by a great play, but when the fans get the vote, I don't care who it is. Most fans are not offensive lineman gurus, right? They don't know how good Ronnie Stanley is compared to other players. They think Ronnie Stanley is good because he's a Raven and he was a first-round pick. But other than that, you know, they get caught up in Joe Flacco and receivers and all this other stuff, right? And especially at Jensen, who's at the center position, where you don't get to see Jensen do those smooth leg kicks, right? You know, when you watch Ronnie Stanley in a drill, it looks good. He kicks his leg, he moves fast, he gets his arms. Centers don't do that. Centers snap the ball, and call, you know, the blitz coverage, and then they back up and pass block or take a first step and run block, and that's it. After that, they've done their job, and it's hard to look at that and say, if you're a fan, oh, that's awesome. What really happens is, if you are a 49ers fan, you know, when you go to do your voting, you want to vote for your guys, so you vote your offensive lineman in. And that's what happens. He didn't make a cut, and I think that's a big reason why. I think if it was only scouts who get the vote, I want to say media people, but I really think media people are just an extension of fans. So if it was scouts that got the vote, I think he would have made it in. And it is what it is what it is. I think he's the only one with the potential on offense to make the Pro Bowl for the Ravens. Thank you so much for your question. And now we're going to go to the next question that comes from Andrew. And Andrew asked, please rank our cornerbacks. I am interested in your opinion. Thank you so much, Andrew. I'm happy that you're interested in my opinion. And I will rank them for you. And if I forget a name or two, I'm sorry about that. The Ravens have a lot of cornerbacks, a lot of injured players. So it comes in and out, right? So I'm going to just do the top five. I'm not going to go all the way down the list. Top five. So number one, Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith is a great player. He is injury prone, but that does not take away from his greatness. His ability to be physical, and especially this year, to turn that physicality into interceptions is something that is impressive, and only a handful of cornerbacks in the league can actually do effectively. Number two is hard, right? It's either Brandon Carr or Marlon Humphrey. And it matters, man, what is your philosophy, right? If your philosophy about football players are that football players play the biggest in the biggest games, right? If, for example, if you like Tom Brady over Peyton Manning, the reason is when it comes to prime time, Tom Brady delivers and Peyton Manning often does not. Peyton Manning can, you know, beat a team up when it's, you know, 1 p.m. on a Sunday. But when it's 8 o'clock on Monday night, who puts it up? Who puts the boards up? Who gets the who pays the best? Personally, I'm the type of player that says, I'm the type of person that says, if you play hard and you deliver in prime time in the playoffs where it really counts, you get my vote. So Marlon Humphrey is the number 2 cornerback on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm nothing against Brandon Carr, but when you play a team twice a year, and on prime time, in order to, you know, take control of your playoff life, and you get beat bad, you get beat like a drum, you get beat like it's no one's business. Sorry, I can't vote for you to be number 2. So number 2 is Marlon Humphrey. Number 3 is Brandon Carr. Now we get interesting, because there's some players you have that aren't playing and whatever. I would take Tavon Young. I think he played awesome that year as number 4, and I think he's really a special young man. And now this one's going to get a little hard, and I'm sorry because his name is I got it. Sorry, his name was leaving me. I pulled it back. Kennedy, Maurice Kennedy. It's either him or Ladarius Webb at number 5, and I'm taking Kennedy. I think he looks great. I think every time I see him play, he's making a play. He does get beat sometimes, but I think he has amazing potential. So I'm going to take Kennedy, and those are going to be my top 5 corners: Jimmy Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Carr, Tavon Young, and then Kennedy. I love them both. I love them all. I think they're all talented. And if you want more information, ask me another question about them. So And now we're going to go to the last question, and maybe one of the best questions. Do the Ravens regret losing Kamar Aiken? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was right about this. I don't know what you guys thought. I'm telling you from day one. I was telling people, hey, Kamar Aiken is a number 2 receiver who is willing to be paid like a number 3 receiver. You sign people like that. That is the issue that the Ravens have. They keep on signing number 2 receivers for number 1 receiver money. Mike Wallace, I love him to death, is a number 2 receiver. Jeremy Maclin right now is a number 2 receiver. Bashar Perriman right now is a free agent receiver. And you can't win championships paying number 2 receivers like number 1 receivers. You win championships like other teams, like the Patriots, who pay number 2 receivers like number 3 receivers. Kamar Aiken is a number 2 receiver who was willing to be paid as a number 3 receiver. And when the Ravens were injury prone, he stepped up and played like a number 1 receiver. So I was so disappointed that the Ravens lost him. Other free agents, I understand. Kyle Juszczyk was a number 1 player that wanted to be played like a number 1 running back. No, right? That's unacceptable. You have Ricky Wagner. That's a right tackle that wanted left tackle money. I would have tried to make it work, but okay. I see the thinking there. I think what happened with Kamar is that Kamar wanted the ball more when you had Steve Smith, Mike Wallace, and Perriman, and he was relegated to the 4th receiver. He was telling the coaches, give me the ball. Last season, I was the best player on your team. Give me the ball. They said no. We like to give Steve Smith his going out party. We want Mike Wallace to have the ball because he's a playmaker, and we trying to get Bashar Perriman ready for the NFL. As a result, you're number 4. And now, right now, I think if Kamar was on this team, I think he would have more catches and yards than Maclin for sure. Definitely Bashar Perriman. Maybe not Mike Wallace. I think he was a number 2 receiver in the number 3 receivers pay grade. I think the Ravens should have kept him. So that is the end of the Mailbag show. Please leave your questions in the comments below. Also, you guys answered these questions. Let me know. How do you feel? Do you think we should have kept Kamar Aiken? You rank your cornerbacks. Let me know in the comments below. I read them. So please, please, please let me know. Thank you guys so much. And go Ravens.